happened to us right here. Our sons and daughters was given to another race of people. When our sons and daughters was given to the hands of the so-called white man, well, did we have any power to get them back? Another movement, 12 years a slave. Remember when Solomon Thorpe and that lady, remember her 2 kids were took it from her and sold the slave on another plantation. What she do? She sat down and she cried all the day long. The Bible is a true book. They put these things in the movie, but it actually happened. And who did it happen to? Who identified with what we read in the Bible? Come on. It happened to us. Slavery's in the Bible, slavery's Bible prophecy. A lot of people think that the Bible is not a true book. The Bible is a true book. Right. All the it's over 80% of the prophecies that's in the Bible has came to pass. You hear me, bro? 80% of the prophecies that's in the Bible has came to pass. It's only been 20% of the prophecies in the Bible that hasn't been fulfilled yet. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Because we broke the commandments of God, right. Moses told us our sons and daughters would be given to another people. When Moses said our sons and daughters going to be given to another people, he talking about another race of people. What race of people was our sons and daughters given to? What race of people was our sons and daughters given to? Don't be scared to say it. The so-called white man.
That's right.
Our people was given to them and made slaves. Right. That's the truth. See, they don't like to hear us talk about this because it's the ugly truth for the country that helped establish America and make it the greatest country on the planet Earth. So when you bring it out, that a lot of them, they get a sense of guilt that their forefathers partake in it, but it's the truth. Read that again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
This happened to us right here. Our sons and daughters was given to another race of people. Read.
Right. And they unto another people, and their eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Then the Bible said your eyes are gonna look and fail with them for longing for them all the day long. When our sons and daughters was given to the hands of the so-called white man, well, did we have any power to get them back? What we do? Our eyes look and fail with longing for them all the day long. Who seen the movie Roots? Remember when Kenzie, right? Remember Kunta Kinte and Kenzie on the plantation? Kenzie was about to be sold to another plantation. Right. What did Kunta Kinte do to get his daughter back? He couldn't do nothing. All he did was cry. Right. Another movement, 12 years a slave. Remember when Solomon Thorpe and that lady, remember her 2 kids were took it from her and sold the slave on another plantation. What she do? She sat down and she cried all the day long. The Bible is a true book. They put these things in the movie, but it actually happened. And who did it happen to? Who identified with what we read in the Bible?
Come on.
It happened to us. Read on.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
There ain't gonna be no might in your hand. It ain't gonna be no power in your hand. Do black people got power today in America? Hell no. Look at Kanye West apologizing now just for sitting up there saying that we the true Jews. Right. Just for sitting up there saying we the Israelites. He gotta sit up there and go apologize for a statement he made. Why? Because even with him being a billionaire, he don't got no power. Let you know who controlled the celebrity's money. The white man controlled the celebrity money. Last year, when Kanye West said we were the Israelites, they took over $500 million from him. How do you take $500 million from somebody that easy? That's how you know a lot of this money and currency that these celebrities think they got is all digitalized. That's why I don't blame a lot of these young rappers going by chains and cars and houses and material things like that. Why? Because that equals up too well. Because they're not in control of what's in their bank account. The Bible said your sons and daughters gonna be taken from you, given to another race of people, and you will not have no power in your hand to get your sons and daughters back. Read on.
And the fruit of thy land.
Then he said the fruit of your land, talking about your resources. The land that the fruit, you gotta think, when we was on the west coast of Africa, right, I'm gonna ask you this, what is Ghana known for? What is the country Ghana known for? Coal. What is Sierra Leone for? Known for? Diamonds. Right. You know what I'm saying? What is Uganda known for? Bitter cola, cola. You got all these different continents or different countries that's on the continent of Africa. All the resources that the land brought forth, what the Bible say? Read.
The fruit of thy land.
The fruit of thy land, talking about the resources, read.
And all thy labor.
And everything that you labored to make the land bring forth, your gold, your diamonds, your oil, your cocoa. Think about Liberia. A lot of people don't even know that the majority of the rubber that we had, that we got on these cars, and the rubber that was sitting up here that was imported into America comes from Liberia. Right. Read on.
Shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up?
Give me verse 68, now verse 45. Listen to this, read on.
Moreover,
he said, shall a nation that you know is not eat up. Read on.
Moreover,
now look what Moses about to tell the Israelites. We are the Israelites the Bible speaks of. Read.
Moreover, all these curses.
Moses told the Israelites, look, if you break the commandments of God, all these curses, read,
shall come upon thee.
They're going to come upon you and do what?
And shall pursue thee.
Read.
And overtake thee till thou be destroyed.
Now we've been destroyed as a people. Look how we act mentally.
Come on.
Look at how women act. Look at us, man. Look what we rap about. Look at the things that we promote to one another. We have been destroyed as a nation of people. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask you this. What holidays did we celebrate before we came to the shores of America? Before we made slaves here? What type of food did we eat before we made slaves in America? What did we do? How did we dress before we was made slaves in America? The way we talk, the way we look, the way we dress, everything we do is based off of us being made slaves in America. It was taught to us by another nation of people. And that's the truth. We never celebrated Christmas. Show me in the Bible what December 25th tells you is Christmas up in there. Show me in the Bible where it say Christ was born December 25th. Ask the pastor in your church when you go to church Sunday. Ask them, hey, show me December 25th, Jesus Christ's birthday in the Bible. We never celebrated Jesus Christ's birthday. As a matter of fact, Jesus Christ was born in the springtime.
What club was that at?
That was admit that a lot of people don't even realize they.
I've called her. She hasn't responded. I've called her more than a few times.
With the Zulu Nation, I'm like, what the hell is this? I know nobody know what I'm talking about. You'll leave me on the island by myself. I don't know what the hell Bishop's talking about. That's what y'all do. Then after class, yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I just don't want to be caught out there. The hell is this? Get on my damn nerves. So read that again, 31.
Read on.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee till thou be destroyed.
For breaking the commandments of God, the Lord destroyed us as a nation of people. He took our names from us. We got the names of we got the last names of our slave master. Right. If your slave master's name was Smith, and he stayed in Oregon, and he was a Baptist, guess what you was gonna be? Your last name was gonna be Smith in Oregon, you gonna be a Baptist. Right. If his last name was Peterson, and he in Louisiana, and he a Christian, guess what? Your last name gonna be Peter, and you gonna be a Christian. Read on.
And thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So now Moses said, if you don't want to listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, read.
To keep his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, and they shall be upon thee.
Yeah. If we don't want to keep his commandments, the curses gonna be upon us for a sign and what?
And for a wonder.
He said, look, if you want to know how to identify God's people today, the curses point to a sign of who they are. If they cursed in the city and cursed in the field, you go to any major city in America, who populate the worst places of that city? What we call them hood, ghettos, and slums. Then we glorify that. But not only that, go to London. Who in the worst parts of London? Our people here. Go to India. Who in the worst parts of India? Our people here. Right. Go to China. Who living in the worst places in China? The worst parts of the city. Our people here. Anywhere you go all over this earth, if you go to the most messed up part of the city, guess who you're going to find there? You're going to find our people, the Israelites. Read on.
And upon thy seed forever.
So if you want to identify who the nation of Israel is today, you're going to identify who they is because God's wrath came upon them. Right. And their sons and daughters were given to another nation of people, and they had no power to get them back. That's a sign of who the Israelites are. It get through them in 28:6. They read. We're going to come right back to that one too.
Verse 68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Egypt means bondage. It comes from the word Mizraim. Mizraim comes from the word Matzor, which means to bond. Captivity. The Lord was telling the Israelites, look, Moses was telling the Israelites, if you break God's commandments, you're going to go into captivity again with what? With ships. With what? With ships. Who went into captivity with ships? Whose sons and $1,000 were given to another people. Who cried for their sons and daughters and they had no might in their hand? Who resources that was taken from them? These are signs that point to who the nation of Israel are today. Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
When we came out of Egypt the first time, Moses said, look, if you keep God's commandments, you ain't going to go back into slavery. But if you break God's commandments, you're going to go back into slavery again with ships. Read on.
And there ye shall be sold.
There, wherever those ships land at. Look at this poster right here. It's saying there, wherever the ships land at, you're going to be what?
Sold.
You're going to be sold. When you go to the hour Curacao, we were sold for slaves. When you go to South America, we were sold for slaves. Cuba, we were sold for slaves. Puerto Rico, Haiti, Jamaica, North America, all the way up into Europe, we were sold for what?
Unto your enemies.
To our enemy. The people who sold us and the people who bought us, God said they was what? God called them your what? Your enemies. But Christianity teach you that it ain't no enemies. That's a damn lie. God said you're going to be sold to your enemies on slave ship for what?
For bondmen.
For slave men, read.
And bond women.
And bond women, read on.
And no man shall buy you.
And no man ain't going to be able to buy you back from your enemies. No man ain't going to be able to buy you out of that captivity. Because we had a law in biblical times that if you used to be sold as a slave, your brother can come redeem you from captivity. Give me that right back and do number 28 to 46, verse 47.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee.
So Moses said these curses gonna be upon thee for what?
For a son.
So one of the signs we just read, your sons and daughters gonna be given to another people. Another sign that we read, that you're gonna go into slavery on ships and be sold to your enemies for slave men and slave women. Read on.
And for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
Curses came upon us because we didn't serve God for joyfulness. We made the covenant with the God, the creator of the heaven and earth. Read on.
And with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
So Moses said, since you don't want to serve God for the abundance of all things, read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
God said you got to serve your enemies for what?
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Let me ask you something. Who sent thy enemies against us? The scripture, the Bible say the Lord. Why come the white man that sit up there and go to Iran and get the Iranians and make them slaves? Why he didn't go to Palestine and get the Palestinians and bring them to America and make them slaves? Take them to Jamaica and make them slaves? Why he didn't go to China and get the Chinese and take them to Cuba and make them slaves? God said you gonna be what?
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
He said the Lord gonna send them against you. Read on.
And hunger.
For hunger. Who you gotta go to for food? We don't control the grocery stores. The American Farmers, you know how much we make up 1% of the American Farm Association. Meaning the whole other 99% is made up of the so-called white man and other nations. We make up 1%. You've been seeing all that stuff on Instagram and TikTok now, right? Where they trying to finally give black farmers the funding. Because they've been in an outroar about it for years. They've never been able to get funded to sit up there to cultivate their land and to bring forth crops and things like that. We only make up 1% of the American Farm Association. So if we make up 1% of it, you think the rest of these folks gonna want to give us money to fund our 100 acres? Because you get rich just off having 100 acres of land. The government will pay you to farm all your 100 acres of land. Read on.
In hunger and in thirst.
Who control the water? Who we got to go to for the thirst? Who control the water? Don't y'all we got to pay a water bill here. You got to buy water out the stove. That's why I give me that in Lamentations chapter 5 real quick. Hold that. The Lord said, if you don't want to serve me for one of all things, you got to serve your enemies for food and hunger, for thirst, for water and nakedness, the clothes you wear. We don't own the textiles. We don't control the cotton. We don't control the silk. We don't control the leather. We don't control none of this stuff. We got to go to our enemies for this. Read that.
Lamentations chapter 5 and verse 4. We have drunken our water for money.
We done drunk our water for money. Water's supposed to be free. We drinking our water for money. Read on.
Our wood is sold unto us.
Our wood is sold to us. You're supposed to be able to chop down a tree and get the wood that you need. Read on.
Our necks are under persecution.
Who next is constantly under persecution? Was not the other day it was on the news that another young man got put to death by the police screaming he can't breathe? Give me that about the breath. Jump down 4, 16, 17 around there. 5. No, 4, 16, 17.
Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 16, 17. As for us, our eyes as yet fell for our vain help.
Just like I'm just bringing out, I forgot the young man's name. This was just on the news the other day. Another officer killed another one of our black teens, choked him out. He was screaming, he couldn't breathe, he died. This happened again. It say it's for us, but look, who we want to help us? We want them to do something about it. It's time for us to rise up and do something about the situations and the problems that keep happening to our people. Read on.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
We watching for the nation that enslaved us to save us. We watching for the nation to enslave us to treat us right. You think they're gonna treat us right? You think they're gonna give you equal pay? They just did a study how a black man with a master's degree, a white man without a master's degree coming clean out of jail can get a job quicker than a black man with a master's degree with no record. Look it up. Look it up. They just did the study about that. It's true. Everything, the stuff I'm saying out here, either it's gonna come out the Bible or it's true facts that you can look up. Right. You can pull up the receipts on this. Read on.
They hunt our steps.
You say they hunt our steps. Who they hunt down? They ain't hunting each other's steps, but they hunt your steps. Read on.
That we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. The breath of our nostrils.
He said the breath. Now notice I said our persecutors are swifter than the eagles. What is the what the one that y'all know? I want the one with the eagles on. Show me that. You sure? Look at this right here. What is the symbol of America? What is the symbol of America? Because he said our persecutors are swifter than the eagle. You take $1 out. What's on the dollar sign? The American eagle. What's on the back of the quarter? The American eagle. When they were Spanish, their symbol was the eagle. When they was the Romans, their symbol was the eagle. When they was Greek, their symbol was the eagle. He said our persecutors are what?
Are swifter than the eagles of heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains.
He said they pursued us upon the mountain. They always pursuing and persecuting our people. Read on.
They laid wait for us in the wilderness.
Did not they lay wait for Trayvon Martin? Yep. Did not they lay wait for, what's the name of the other guy that,
Mike Brown.
Yeah, George. Did not they lay wait for George Floyd? They lay wait for our people. Matter of fact, we just got word that they were sitting up there. Nah, I don't want to go into that. Read on.
The breath of our nostrils.
Didn't say the breath of our nostrils. The breath of our nostrils, read.
The anointed of the Lord was taken in their pits of whom we said.
Hey, which one of them guys that they sat up there and they was screaming they couldn't breathe and the officer said fuck his breath, fuck their breath? It was Eric Garner. No, it was Eric Garner. It wasn't George Floyd, wasn't it? Yeah, no, it wasn't Regine Carter. That's something different. It was Eric Garner. He said he couldn't breathe because it was about the cigarette thing. He said he couldn't breathe and the officer said fuck your breath. That's why I say the breath of your what?
Of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord.
We are the anointed of the Lord. The Lord chose us. When you read the Bible, you'll understand that out of all nations on the planet Earth, the Lord chose one nation of people. And he made a covenant with their people. Within that covenant, he told their people, look, if you keep my commandments, you're going to be blessed over all nations of the planet Earth. Right. But if you break my commandments, your sons and daughters going to be given to a lot of people. You're going to go to slavery on slave ship. You're going to populate the poorest communities. You're going to be cursed in the field. Any type of field, any type of plantation that brought up resources, you was going to be cursed in those things.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation